Welcome everyone to Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys. He's Gage Burbage. And this is Week 16 Pick'ems. Week 16. Christmas coming up. We had a good Thursday night game last night. Gage, how you doing this week, man?
Doing good. It was a rough Sunday of football for me, but I didn't expect to beat Philly, especially with a lot of the players out that are key players. But it was still, you could call it a close game, 27-13. It's not like Philly blew us out. But yeah, besides for that, doing well. Looking forward to the next couple games. How are you doing with the Bengals finally pulling out a good win?
I don't know if I'd call it a good win. It was a win. The defense got a lot of turnovers. The offense turned the ball over a lot. One of your key defensive linemen gets hurt on a touchdown pass, as he was the receiver on that touchdown pass. Yeah, so, mixed feelings. Denver lost last night, which helps the Bengals tremendously. That's the scenario that I picked on this podcast. I was like, I don't think Denver's losing to the Colts, and they didn't. But they got to drop the next three, and last night was the start of the three, and it didn't look good to begin with, but the free kick, I believe, turned things around for the Chargers in that game last night.
Yeah, that free kick, something the NFL, nobody has seen in years. I think the last successful one was like 1976 or whatever.
Yep.
There had been a couple attempted during that time. Harbaugh attempted another one in his stint with the Niners with Phil Dawson of 71 yards. But it's 76. Last time one was made. What do you say about that besides for why our team's not doing this more often?
Yeah, it's just something that nobody ever thinks of. But apparently Harbaugh, it's like in his mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a strange odd character, but he knows his rules, and it worked out in his favor last night.
He definitely knows his rules, and he said in his press conference after, I've been waiting to do this. I've been waiting to have a situation where I could do the free kick. It's like, when do you hear a coach say, I've been waiting to implement this weird rule?
A weird coach, that is who. That is one right there. Man. Oh, but the game, the Bengals, they needed that last night, and now they just have to win out. I know they've got Cleveland, then they've got Denver next week, and they finish the season with Pittsburgh. So run the table, and you're in.
And if you win the next two, there might be a situation where Pittsburgh doesn't play their starters. Because if they win on Saturday, they clinch the North. And there's really no reason for them to play many of the starters for the last couple games.
Yeah, because at that point, you probably got the number 3 seed locked up, right? Because I don't think you're jumping into the 1 or 2 seed with Kansas City or Buffalo up there. I mean, there's a shot, but I don't think that that'll happen right now.
No.
So, like you said, they may be in mode where they're just trying to rest players up for the playoffs, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean. And like you said, definitely not jumping to 1. Kansas City only has 1 loss. We have, 3 or 4 now. Buffalo.
4, I think.
Buffalo might be the only one we can take over at 2, but I don't think putting the starters out there for hard-hitting games like Cincinnati or even Kansas City next week, I don't think it's worth trying to jump that 1 extra spot. Right now, if it stays the way that it is, we would be going against, I believe, Denver, which I'd be okay with. We already beat them earlier. If it switches up, we'd be going against the Chargers. We already beat them earlier. If Cincinnati's able to jump into 7, then Cincinnati would be going against Buffalo, which that would be a shootout.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with keeping the 3 seed. I don't want 2. I don't want 1, and I don't want to drop the 4.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll drop down to 4. I mean, there's a chance, but I just don't think Houston's got a couple of hard games coming up here. In the next 2, that's going to be difficult for them to win both of them. Mm-hmm. And I think Pittsburgh's got, is it a game? Maybe they're just a game up on them. But if they take one of the next 2, then Houston won't be able to pass them. But yeah, right now I think they'd be playing the Chargers because the Bengals get that 7 seed. They'll play Buffalo, and boy, you talk about teams that don't have defenses. Both of these teams do not play defense this year. Man, what was that the other day?
Oh my God! There's a shootout. It's like, what is going on? Josh Allen all of a sudden is a superstar quarterback when I'm going against him in fantasy. It's like, okay, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, he is my quarterback in fantasy, so that helped me out a lot riding into the playoffs there. 51 points, I believe, in fantasy. I don't know if it was last week. Maybe it was last week he had that, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
He had the game against the Rams, 6 touchdowns. Last week he had 5 touchdowns. Like, come on, man, stop it.
Oh, it was great. That the Lions, they've got a lot of injuries on defense, and that may affect them into the playoffs. If they had just a few people healthy, it's a different story, I believe. But man, they're just.
And the fact that they have this many injuries on their defense and still only have 2 losses on the season, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Dan Campbell and the defensive coordinator over there for knowing the limitations of their guys and knowing, we can go out and sign Jamal Adams off the street and he can come in and make a big impact his first game and be blitzing all over the place, drop back in coverage, do whatever he has to do.
Yeah, and then they had some more bad news with David Montgomery earlier in the week. That 2-headed monster at running back. So we'll see how they adjust there. But it looked like they were on, the clear path to a Super Bowl earlier in the season. And now, I don't know.
I don't know either. If they do make it to the Super Bowl, I mean, Montgomery is likely to come back because he's avoiding surgery. Aiden Hutchinson will probably be back. And then there's 1 or 2 other defensive players that are to be back by the Super Bowl. It's like if they make it, they're going to win it, most likely.
Yeah, that's if they can get there. It's Philly is, right there too. They would have to get through to get to that. And Minnesota is still hanging around somehow. I know they didn't. They played Chicago the other day, and Chicago is just all kinds of something right now.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, I still don't believe in Minnesota for whatever reason. I just still don't believe yet.
I don't believe in Minnesota either, and let me see if I can pull this up. There was a graphic that was posted the other day by the Detroit Line Instagram page. And Minnesota, their strength of schedule was a 434, so not very good. And their strength of victory was a 387. Not good at all compared to higher teams like Detroit. Strength of schedule 536, strength of victory 512. That's about what you want, is 0.2 or so off. Not almost a full 1,000, what would that be? Full 1/10 of a point.
Yeah, I just they're top of the division right now, tied for the division lead. Sam Darnold's your quarterback. He's been good. He's played good all year so far. Oh well, for the most part. But I think once they get in the playoffs, it's going to be kind of a different story. But
yeah, Sam Darnold's not used to playing more than 17, 18 games in a season, so it'll be gets acclimated to that climate.
Yeah, when you're quarterback for the Jets and the Panthers, you just don't play past January 1st usually. After that, it's over with. So, Gage, we talked about fantasy just a minute ago. Who is still alive and kicking on your fantasy team? We'll go a little positive on that question this time.
Well, to start, my entire team in my one league is dead because I lost first round of playoffs because he had Josh Allen. And then in my sleeper league, I won. It was a great shootout. It was 158 to 156.
Oh.
Because I had Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Evans, and James Conner all go over 30. But there was one big loss out for the season, and that is Alvin Kamara.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, it still has him as doubtful and projected to score 15.3 points. However, something tells me that's not happening this week. I have not switched him out, and I have picked up Jerome Ford. I don't like Jerome Ford, but he's the best available running back. I don't know.
And he's against the Bengals this week.
Yeah, and the Bengals defense really isn't that good, so I really don't know.
No, and Kamara, it's a good thing that, they're showcasing him. Well, not him, but the Saints on Monday Night Football once again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good old Jake Hayner, and then I can't even think of the running back's name that's going to start. So, yeah, Jake Hayner to Marquise.
Jamal Williams.
I have no idea. I want to say it's some rookie, but I don't know.
It probably is. I know Jamal Williams is on the team, but it might be as far as that goes. He might even be hurt. I don't know. You just don't hear much out of him since the first 2 games of the year.
No. I don't know who the running back is. I can't find anywhere that says.
Says a whole lot then about it.
Yeah.
So last week in our picks, I should already have just brought it up. It was brought up just a second ago. I went 11-4. You went 10-5.
We'll take it. Definitely.
Overall, 133 and 81 for me, and 139 and 75 for you. Yeah, not bad.
Kendre Miller is the running back I'm thinking of, by the way. Yep.
Yeah. If you say so. Oh man, I've never heard of that guy. I don't think.
Nope, neither have I.
And he plays football, and he's a starter in the National Football League this week.
Yep, he was drafted 71st overall in the 2023 draft out of TCU.
TCU. Well, so he's maybe played in the national championship game against Georgia, I guess.
Yeah, I would assume.
Still don't know who he is.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. He obviously did not make an impact during the game.
Obviously not. Which brings us to the quote of the week, and it comes from Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase. When asked about Jordan Battle's fumble return that rolled out of the end zone and resulted in a touchback when nobody knocked it out of his hands, he was celebrating before he got to the end zone and fumbled. Chase said, "I told him he's paying for my lunch later." When asked why, because we can't have that. If you're on defense, just run it in, then you can showboat after.
Hey, fair point. Yeah, I can't say he's wrong. I don't care if you're on defense, offense, special teams. Don't drop the ball before you cross the goal line. I don't care if it's Jordan Battle. I don't care if it's Jonathan Taylor. I don't care if it's the man who started it in Deshaun Jackson. Don't drop the ball before you celebrate or before you cross the goal line.
It happens way too often in the NFL, college, anything. A guy gets the ball and he wants to go ahead and start celebrating. Wait till you're in the – I don't touch the back white line, and then I don't care if you punt it up into the stands. Whatever. Do not let go of it until you get there. Make sure it crosses. What is so cool about dropping the ball before you get in the end zone? You look like a goof when you do this.
Yeah, and then you screw your team. You probably might get benched. Like, what are you doing?
But that would have given a 3-score lead right there at that point. And, they ended up winning anyways. Mason Rudolph come in. He played pretty well for him. But that happens. They get the ball right back, and they got a chance to come down and make it a 1-score lead. You go from 3 scores to 1 score just like that. Now, it didn't end up happening. It worked out okay, but still, man, just running into the locker room and then celebrate. Do that instead of what you did.
Yeah, I will never understand why players do that.
But there was 10 turnovers total in that game and 26 penalties.
Jesus.
Ugh. And the Bengals, it was a very sloppy game. And I don't know if you caught Joe Burrow at the end of the game yelling with Zach Taylor from the sidelines. And, he used some expletives and said it was, something embarrassing. And then Taylor said something else to him, and he said, blank that. And I was like, whoa. And they were already up 10, or whatever at that time. Woo.
Yeah, that's as good as during the Steelers game. Some penalties happened that somehow none were called on Philly, even though they threw about 7 punches. And the ref's explaining it to Tomlin, and Tomlin just goes, "Get the blank away from me," and turns around and walks away. I'm like, yeah,
I seen that.
I love that.
So I guess Joe Burrow may have gotten over that after it was over with, because he gave his offensive linemen authentic Japanese katana swords for Christmas, and he let them all pick them out. What a strange guy Joe Burrow is.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Here's some Japanese swords. Talk about having money just to throw away.
I mean, that's as good as Brock Purdy buying his entire offensive lineman a truck. So,
well, that, and he bought a Batmobile like a couple weeks ago. He bought one of the Batmobiles from the movies. Joe Burrow did.
Even though
no wonder people's trying to break into his house.
That's like
I haven't
in cash laying around.
Yeah, I haven't checked out this week's episode of Hard Knocks, so I wonder if they cover that Joe Burrow story in there at all.
They probably do. I think it would be weird if they didn't.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the storylines. I mean, they wrote this script, so they had to have somebody come and do something right.
Exactly.
Oh man, well, let's go ahead and get started. Like we said last night, the Chargers defeat the Broncos 34-27. Herbert, they were going crazy over Herbert on the broadcast last night. I think Herb Street and Herbert, I don't know what was going on there, but man, he loves him some Justin Herbert. He played good.
I think the last name.
Yeah, it's really close. So, but Herbert, that 2-point conversion that he threw to Palmer, that was all Palmer there. That was a great catch in the back of the end zone from Palmer.
I don't know.
Tip it to himself and catch it.
Yeah, I don't know how he caught that. I mean, I thought when Herbert threw it, I was like, oh, he's just throwing it out of the back of the end zone. And then, oh, no, Palmer caught it. How in the world? Okay.
Yeah. But I liked the game last night. I like to see the Denver Broncos lose there because I needed them to. So I thought it was a very good game. A lot better game this week than it was last Thursday night, for sure.
Yeah, for once we can say we had a good Thursday night football game.
Yeah, and a lot of Denver fans, I guess, they were mad that this game was flexed out because it was supposed to be the Browns and the Bengals, and we know why that was flexed out. And, you put this game in there, and a lot of Denver fans were planning on going Sunday to travel to L.A., and now they were mad because they flexed that game out, and that messes up people's schedules. But, hey, whatever. You guys aren't going to the playoffs anyway.
Yeah. Might not be a lot of teams going to the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe a team that you're a fan of. I don't know.
I think the Lions are in. I believe that they're going to make it. So I feel like they're going to be in there. I got that feeling. So we have Saturday NFL football. It's that time of the year where we have Saturday NFL football. And we start tomorrow at 1 o'clock on NBC. The Houston Texans travel to Kansas City to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite. Gage, you glad we got some Saturday football? I know you do.
Oh,
I know you're glad we got some Saturday football because of the next game, but what do you think about this one here?
I am absolutely ecstatic for Saturday football. I don't work tomorrow, so I can actually watch the Steelers play on a Saturday. This is abnormal for me this time of year, but it's awesome. I love it. When it comes to this game, though, we don't know how healthy is Mahomes. Is he playing, or are they going to rest him? There's no need for him to play, I wouldn't think. I mean, you need to drop 2 to have a chance of losing your number 1 seed, which is why we're going to do it early and we're going to do it quick. We're going to take the upset pick of the week, the Houston Texans beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, with that, they cover the 3 points. Yeah, I just don't know. I think the Chiefs' devil magic is going to run out this week, and it's going to be a Texans win. So give me the Texans in this one.
Whoa, already pulling out the very first game. Couldn't wait to go ahead and just throw the upset pick out. I am not going to do that right here. I think Mahomes will play. I don't know. They were talking like he's going to play. He hurt his ankle last week. My prediction is I think he plays this week, and they kind of hold him back on Wednesday, which helps a certain team that plays that day. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to say that, Houston last week, they beat Miami. Houston still doesn't look all that great. I mean, Nico Collins, he didn't have a whole lot going on. The Chiefs, they beat the Browns. Mahomes got hurt. It was just whatever. We just going to beat this team, get it over with. I think it'll be a decent game tomorrow, but like I said, I think Mahomes will play. This is going to be a heavy Isaiah Pacheco game, I believe, right here. Yeah. Give me the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs win, and I think that the Chiefs will cover at home. But, give me the Chiefs. It's going to be cold, too. It's going to be really cold, and the next game's going to be cold, too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is 4:30 on Fox. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is a 6.5-point favorite at home. Gage, what do you think about that spread?
I think that's a lot, considering, I don't know, a certain team won earlier in the year. But this game has a lot into it. Pittsburgh needs to win, clinch the division. Baltimore's trying to spoil that. They're trying to make a late jump to overtake Pittsburgh and win the division. I think they're a game and a half behind maybe, so even if Baltimore wins this one, they basically have to win out in order to win the division. There's a good chance they can. Lamar's been looking really good the past couple weeks. He tossed 5 touchdowns last week. But can he do it again? Pittsburgh always seems to have his number. He has only 1 win in his career as a starter against Pittsburgh. This is Lamar's first time being a starter against Pittsburgh in Baltimore. He's been in the league for how many years, and this is his first game at home as a starter against Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Because other years it's been either injury, it's been late in the season, they've been benching starters. COVID, I think, was the 1 year he started.
Was that the Wednesday game they played?
Yeah, Wednesday, Tuesday, some other day of the week that doesn't exist. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, injury, bench, or wasn't his first year in the league when he wasn't the starter, but he was the backup. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. TJ Watt's expected to play, but George Pickens is out. Deshaun Elliott's out. Justin Fields is out, which I don't know how. He played 1 play last week and got his abdomen hurt. Larry Ogunjobi is questionable. If they do what they did the first meetup, hold Derrick Henry, you have a good chance of winning. TJ Watt's good at controlling the quarterback, so he can stick with Lamar for the most part. Let your inside guys finish up against Derrick, and I think you're going to win. However, I'm going to do what I always do on this podcast and pick the opposite of what I want for this game. So give me Baltimore, give me the points, but in my heart, I think Pittsburgh's going to win.
Oh, man. So you said that Lamar had a great game last week. He threw for 5 touchdowns. They're looking a lot better. They played the Giants. Okay. So that makes anybody look better, but whatever. Pittsburgh had a tough game last week. Like you said, they got a lot of injuries, losing to Philly last week. Baltimore at home on a Saturday, looking to maybe take control of the division. I picked against Pittsburgh last week, and I think it might have been the first time that I've picked against them that they actually lost.
Yeah.
Usually when I pick them, they lose. When I pick against them, they win. So I think this was the first. So I'm going a little opposite here. I'm going to pull out my upset pick of the week right here because Lamar just cannot beat Pittsburgh. I'm picking Pittsburgh to win on the road in Baltimore to control the division, to clinch the division right here. Give me Pittsburgh in Baltimore.
So it's good to know Pittsburgh's going to lose this week. All right, I got you.
No, it's going. See, I bucked the trend last week, so we're going to do it again this week. We're going to continue the new trend. It's a new trend around here.
And who knows? Maybe this game we'll see another fight break out, and then 2 unsportsmanlike penalties against Pittsburgh. I know Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell don't play for Baltimore, but they'll somehow get transferred into that scrub, throw the punches, not get ejected, and not get any penalties for it. But Darnell Washington play like a little.
What was that last week?
I don't know. Slay just goes bam. Oh yeah, unsportsmanlike against Calvin Austin and Darnell Washington. What? Like,
Yeah.
If anything offsetting, sure, but not 2 against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like were they fighting each other, and just Philly guys were just over there trying to hold them back? I mean, that's what the referees made it seem to be. It's weird.
And it's crazy because that's a drive killer. It was a 2-touchdown game, so that's a drive killer. You're driving good on that one. You get a touchdown out of that because you're at like the 5 before the penalties. That's a 1-touchdown game. If Najee doesn't fumble the ball to start the second half, there's a chance that they score on that one because they're driving super good. So right there, it's a tied game, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and I like where you watch the highlights like on primetime, and Chris Berman's doing like the transcript of the players over there talking to each other, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? You guys doing all right? What do you guys got planned for Christmas? What's going on? Are you guys going to have a big dinner? What's like?" I always think that's hilarious, and they're over there just like punching and all this. But yeah, it's great. So we head over to Sunday. Those are the 2 games on Saturday. We head to Sunday, and we start 1 o'clock slate on Fox. The New York Giants travel to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's an 8.5-point favorite with a quarterback change. Gage, what are we thinking here? I think this is a perfect spot to start a new quarterback. You're going against the Giants. What do you think?
I think it is too, but I don't know what to expect from Penix. They just announced it yesterday, I believe, the quarterback change. So he likely hasn't gotten a full week of practice in with the first team. So he's probably going to be on a very limited playbook, but I like Penix. I like him a lot. I liked him in college. I didn't think it was right for the Falcons to take him, but I like him nonetheless. It's against the Giants, so he's going to hopefully have a good first game. Give me the Falcons. I'm going to take the Giants to cover, though, but give me the Falcons to win this.
The Falcons had to make the change. Kirk Cousins has thrown, I forget what is the last 5 or 6 games, 1 touchdown and 9 interceptions in like the last 5 games or something silly like that.
Yeah.
You have to make a change at that point in time. You drafted Penix in the top 10. I believe he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner last year in college. I thought he was that good.
Yeah.
Led Washington to a national championship. This is the NFL, but if you're going to start against a team in the NFL, who better to start against than the Giants? You're not throwing them out there against, a Pittsburgh defense or something like that. So I like Atlanta to cover here. They were awful the other night.
Yeah.
In that game against Vegas. Vegas almost came back and won that game. New York, on the other hand, they're going in a totally different direction here. You got Malik Neighbors, and Oh, yeah, that's it. You got Malik Neighbors. At least the quarterback knows to throw to Malik Neighbors because that guy gets 10 catches every game, just about. Other than that, they got nothing. And they won't have nothing for Atlanta this week. I'm like you. I think that they cover here. I don't think the Falcons are going to put up a whole lot, and I know the Giants ain't putting up a whole lot. So give me Atlanta to win, but give me a Giants cover. Probably about a touchdown game, but it'll be interesting to see how Penix does.
It will be. I agree with you. I think he should have been the Heisman winner last year. But yeah, when it comes to Malik Neighbors, and they're all like, "Oh, he's gonna set the rookie record for most catches." Yeah, it's because he ain't throwing to anybody else. He has no competition.
No, you got him, and then you got Wan'Dale Robinson, who's good for about 4 catches. Other than that, I mean, the Giants they're talking now like the Giants should draft Travis Hunter with their first pick, tank again next year, and draft Arch Manning for the quarterback for the year after.
There's
Interesting, but
you can do before it's like, all right, this is enough.
yeah. They've won like 9 straight or lost like 9 straight games, most in franchise history. I think they add to that streak this week.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad to be a New York football fan this year, right? Unless you're upstate New York, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, if you're a Buffalo fan, you're feeling great. But every other New York team, yeah, well, feel bad for you.
This is not good. Then we go to an NFC North matchup. The Detroit Lions travel to Chicago to face the Chicago Bears. Detroit is a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, we've talked about the Lions' injuries. What do you think? What do you think about this one here?
I don't care if this game is played in Chicago, Detroit, Iceland, Greenland, Italy, the moon. There's no way Chicago's going to win this one. I don't care if you have, a bunch of 12th graders on the defense for Detroit. Chicago is just that bad. Yeah, not much to say. I'm going to take Detroit. I'm going to take the points. Jahmyr Gibbs, he did great last year when Montgomery got hurt, and that was really his breakout time. I think it's going to happen again. So give me the Lions. Give me the points. Chicago lives in poverty.
Yeah, Chicago, all the promise that they had at the beginning of the year, they give DJ Moore a big extension. They sign Keenan Allen. They bring in DeAndre Swift. They, get their guy at quarterback, number 1 overall pick. And then you see Monday night, and he's over there laying down on the bench after a certain couple of plays. I mean, he's done for. He's beat. It's welcome to the NFL, kid, But Detroit, on the other hand, they, what would you think about the decision for them to go for the onside kick with 12 minutes left in the game?
There is no reason for that. I mean, if they don't do that, there's a good chance to come back in that game. The second onside kick, I thought they had. I would have paid money that freaking Jake Bates recovered his own onside kick. He almost pulled a pass on an onside kick where the other team knows it's coming.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the first onside kick couldn't have went any worse almost.
No.
Mike Hollins almost returns it for a touchdown. And then the second one, if you listen to the game, Tony Romo's doing the game. Tony Romo loves Josh Allen. You can just hear it in his voice. And when you can kind of hear his voice kind of crack when he's like, Detroit didn't cover that, did they? Did they recover that? Oh, no, Buffalo's got it. And I'm like, oh, man, I'd have loved for him not to get it. I'd love for a Romo meltdown on live TV because his boy gets beat. But anyways, too early to kick an onside kick, but that's Dan Campbell. That's his thing. He's going to gamble early and often. But for this game right here, I mean, they're going to win. There's no need to even take a gamble in this game. I think it's going to be, a lot of Amon-Ra because it's always a lot of Amon-Ra and Gibbs. So give me the Lions in this one. I think the Lions will cover even with the injuries that they have because the Bears are just that bad.
I feel like Skipper might have another receiving touchdown this game.
Hey, he may. It's very possible. Why not? It's worked.
Yeah.
Just report eligible. Unlike the Bears.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, The next 1 o'clock matchup, the Cleveland Browns travel to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is a 9-point favorite. Our boy Jameis has been pulled. He's been delivered of his starting job. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, will start for the Cleveland Browns. Gage, what do we think here?
It's sad to see Jameis get benched, but it's also understandable. He threw 3 picks against KC last week. DTR came in and threw 1. I was very happy because I had the Chiefs defense in fantasy. But yeah, it was very good. DTR, I don't know what to expect from him. He's played a little bit this year, but hasn't played a lot. He started some games last year and was okay, but I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Jerome Ford this game. And then if DTR does throw it, it's going to be to Jerry Jeudy. Maybe a David Njoku catch here and there if he's even playing this week. I don't know. I think Cincinnati's going to win this one. I think they're going to keep their playoff hopes alive. So give me Cincinnati. Give me the points. DTR is probably going to throw 3 or 4 picks himself this game.
Yeah, Cincinnati needs to win this game. I think they come out. They're already in playoff mode. They've been in playoff mode for a couple weeks. Cleveland's just trying to get the season over with. But I'll tell you, I would rather see DTR in there. I'm glad they benched Jameis because I think he would be more dangerous against the Bengals defense than what DTR is going to be. But like you said, it doesn't matter who's throwing. Jerry Judy's going to get the ball. Jerry Judy's kind of like Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
They at least know he's on the team. He's getting the targets. He's getting the catches. He's getting the yards. And it's going to be a heavy dose of Jerome Ford. I agree with you there with Chubb going out once again. Chubb's days in Cleveland may be over with. I don't know if he's going to have a whole lot more to give, even in the NFL. But I hate to see that for him because, I mean, when he was healthy, he was great. But I think the Bengals win here, and I think that they actually cover the spread. Cleveland's going to put up some points, but Bengals are going to put up a lot more.
Yeah.
Give me the Bengals. And now we head to the next game, 1 o'clock matchup still. And an AFC South matchup. The Tennessee Titans travel to Indianapolis to face the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are a 3.5-point favorite. Their playoff hopes, I believe, are done for. I'm thinking. I think they were eliminated.
I don't know if
with the Chargers win last night.
I don't know if they're eliminated or if there's like a 0.1% chance of them to get it.
Well, I think if they win out, they may still if the Chargers lose their next 2. But I know that they can't replace the Denver Broncos because Denver beat them straight up last week. And what was that play call in that game with the Colts? Let's do we're down 4. Let's throw a pass over here to Adonai Mitchell and have him throw all the way back to the quarterback, and Benito just come right up there, catch it, run right into the end zone like it's nothing, like right in stride.
I don't know. Yeah, that was just that was incredible. And then it's funny watching it back because you see Richardson like try to lower to catch it. He's just like, and there it goes. Bye.
Yeah.
I mean, Bonito might be Defensive Player of the Year. I mean,
He's awesome.
2 pick-6s, double-digit sacks. Like, if he doesn't get it and someone else gets it, I'll be willing to say, oh, yeah, Bonito should have been it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this game, Mason Rudolph is starting for the Titans. I'm a Mason fan. I don't know what to say, and I hate Anthony Richardson. Don't think he's good, and just don't want just any chance of the Colts to make the playoffs. I'm going to take the Titans in this one. I think Mason Rudolph's going to have a game like he did against Cincinnati last year. Not to bring back bad memories or anything. But yeah. Give me the Titans. Give me the points on this one.
Man, I don't know here. The Titans, they're bad, but that's Will Levis. They had 6 turnovers last week. They turned the ball over 6 times, but they also got 4 takeaways last week in the game. So, and Indy just seems to get worse week by week. And last week, they were in it for a while until that play happened. And then after that, done. End up getting blown out by Denver. I think this will be a good game. Well, I don't think it's going to be a good game. I think this will be a close game. Let's say that. Man, the Titans are going on the road. Indy's at home. Indy's going to try to keep their playoff streak alive. I'm going to take Tennessee with the upset too. I agree with you here. I think that it's going to be a Tony Pollard. He's going to get going again. Game. Calvin Ridley and Mason Rudolph going to have a little connection. Rudolph come in, second half, threw for 209 yards against the Bengals. I know it's not the same, but give me the Titans here. And yeah, they're going to kill whatever hopes Indianapolis had of the playoffs, eliminated this Sunday. The next matchup, the LA Rams travel to East Rutherford, New Jersey to face the New York Jets. LA is a 3-point favorite. LA had a sloppy, ugly game last week. Meanwhile, the Jets got a win. Think they can continue that streak here, Gage?
No. We talked earlier about feeling bad for New York fans besides for Buffalo. The Jets are part of that reason. It came out, The Atlantic, I don't know what they were doing yesterday or who their source was, but there was a lot that came out about the Jets and specifically Woody Johnson. And a couple of the highlights were Woody Johnson blocked a trade this past offseason to acquire Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating wasn't high enough. The one was, I believe, 2022 when Mike White was starting a little bit there for the Jets. How Woody Johnson told him he sucks in front of the entire team. And that also came out from The Atlantic. There was a couple other things. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how The Atlantic is getting all of these news sources. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers, if someone in the front office was mad at Woody Johnson, is someone mulling out to The Atlantic. I don't know. But I find the funny one that, we don't want Jerry Jeudy. He isn't high enough on Madden. Back to the game. The Rams last week had a messy game, that Thursday night football game where no touchdowns were scored and they still pulled out a win. It looks like the Steelers out there playing themselves with field goals only. I think we can pick it up a bit this week. Yeah, it's the Jets. I don't have any faith in them. So give me the Rams. Give me the points in this one.
Yeah, like that last game, they had like 4 days rest or whatever. This time they're going to have 10 days rest. I think the Rams offense is going to pick it up quite a bit too. Last week, the Jets, they got Devontae Adams going. 198 yards receiving last week it was an old vintage Devontae Adams game. He don't have very many more of them in him, I can tell you right now. I'd say, that's a rarity for him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers leaked that to the press because he loves talking. So, and with his new Netflix documentary out, have you been able to catch any of that, Gage? Because I sure haven't.
No, not yet. I'm not sure if I will.
It's on the list. It's not. But what else is on the list is a Rams win this week in New York. I think this game will be actually decent. The over is 46.5. Last week we told you to take an over. The over-under was 54 for the Bills-Lions game. It hit.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the over in this game too. I think that the Jets will be able to put up some points against the Rams, and I think the Rams will be able to put up a lot against that vaunted Jets defense that we talk about. Oh, wait, that was last year. But give me the Rams in this one. I like the Rams to cover it. The next 1 o'clock matchup, NFC East battle. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to face the Washington Commanders. Philly's a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do you think here?
I hate Philly. obviously, but I'm not going to make a revenge pick in this one or a hatred pick. I think Philly's going to come out and just win it just because they look like one of the unstoppable teams right now. Washington, they got good pieces. Just there's something that's not connecting yet, and I don't know what it is. You got Jaden Daniels, likely to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had a good connection last week with Terry McLaurin, got him 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson's been looking good rushing the ball, but the Eagles defense is just so good that I don't see any way that Washington can pull one out. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to take Philly, and I'm going to take the points. It's probably going to be, maybe a touchdown game, maybe a 5-point game. I don't really know.
Yeah, Washington last week, they almost lost. New Orleans went for 2, didn't get it. On the road, Washington, they're, like you said, they're missing something. And I think they're a year early. You know how they say, like, somebody's arrived a year early. Nobody expected Washington to be in this position at the beginning of the season.
No.
But here they are, 9 wins, going to make the playoffs. But I don't think they got anything for Philadelphia here. Philadelphia is on another level right now. They're playing awesome. I know, you're a Philly hater and all, but you've seen, like, firsthand last week, they come out fighting. Oh, wait, never mind. But, they're not fighting each other this time. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, there's something there for sure. Oh, wait, no, there's not. Everything's perfectly fine. We throw the ball to him. We're hugging after plays and all this. And there's something internally going on with them, but they're still pretty good. Saquon was kind of held in check a little bit last week, right?
He was held in check, I think, 67 yards, but he also didn't play the entire second quarter because some sort of injury, whatever. But Kenneth Gainwell came in, and it was like, okay, there's still Saquon out there, so it's fine.
Yeah, but Washington's defense isn't as good as Pittsburgh's defense. They give up a lot of points, especially to good teams. Give me Philly in this one. I think Philly covers, but I'm with you. I think that Washington can keep this close, make it a fun game, but ultimately Philly ends up with the win. The last 1 o'clock matchup of the week, the Arizona Cardinals travel to Charlotte to face the Carolina Panthers. Arizona is a 5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what are we thinking here?
Now for the Cardinals, Trey McBride still looking for his first touchdown. He broke the record last week.
This is crazy.
Yeah, he broke the record last week for most catches in a season without a touchdown. Previously set by someone that we're both familiar with, and Deontay Johnson. And they gave McBride got stopped at the half-yard line last week.
Yes.
It was so sad to watch. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But bold prediction, I think McBride gets his touchdown this week, but I think Carolina wins. It's in Carolina, and the Cardinals just not looking good recently since Call of Duty has come out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's but I'm gonna take Carolina.
I don't know.
I'm gonna take Carolina. Bryce Young didn't have a good game last week, but he's still been looking good overall since coming back from being benched. So give me Carolina, give me the points.
Carolina turned the ball over 4 times last week against the Dallas Cowboys, and Dallas come in and handled Carolina, beat them by a couple of touchdowns at home. Really, Bryce Young, it's probably one of the games that he didn't really look his best since coming back. It was a rookie year type game for Bryce Young in that one.
Yeah.
And then the Cardinals, they beat the Patriots at home. What else you say there? Like you said, McBride, the luck of this guy, like, if you put any time touchdown for him so far this year, you have, been unlucky, especially getting tackled at the 1-yard line. I mean, that's half-yard line. It's crazy. But I think that even though Call of Duty's on, give me the Arizona Cardinals to win this game in Carolina. I think Carolina covers, though. I think this could be a close game. I wouldn't say a good game, but I think it's going to be a close game. But yeah, give me Arizona to win on the road.
It's crazy.
And now we
0 receiving touchdowns on the year. He has more fumble recovery touchdowns than he does receiving touchdowns. It's like, okay, well, come on. Let's get this man his touchdown. Best tight end in the league.
That's crazy. Yeah. And that is, you got Marvin Harrison there, but that's Kyler Murray's favorite target is Trey McBride. And for him to have 0 touchdowns and we're going into week 16, that's criminal activity right there.
Yeah.
So we head into the late window, and the Minnesota Vikings travel to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. Gage, this game I believe will look a lot better, but Geno, was he playing? Are we going to get Sam Howell again, or what do you think?
I don't know. I feel bad for saying this, but I almost feel like Seattle has a better chance of winning with Sam Howell this week. Just because Sam Howell, he proved last year in Washington, he's Jameis Winston, except not as good. He'll sling the rock all over the place. He'll throw a lot of touchdowns. He'll throw a lot of picks. He'll get sacked a lot. Now, that was also behind a horrible line. But still, that'll happen. And I think they're going to need that this week. With the way that Sam Darnold and the Vikings have been playing recently, they've been scoring a lot. They've been scoring often. They've been throwing the ball well. Not really running the ball as much, but they've been throwing it a lot. I think Vikings are going to win. But I think it's in Seattle's best interest to start Sam Howell this week. And another question for them, is it going to be Kenneth Walker or is it going to be Zach Charbonnet? It really seems like it doesn't matter because both of them just seem really good. But that's also another question to ask. But I'm going to go Minnesota. I think they're going to continue up their little winning that they have with Mr. Darnold this year. So give me Minnesota, give me the points, but it could be a good one.
It could be a good one. It says Geno Smith plans to play despite knee injury. It says he's better since then. So we're getting Geno Smith to play Sunday. It didn't look good last week, but he's going to try it again this week. Charbonnet, I don't know. It says he's on the injury report too. So it says they may have a problem at running back. Obviously, if both of those guys are out, you do have a problem at running back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if a not 100% Geno Smith is better than 100% Sam Howell or not. Probably not.
Probably.
One bad hit and there you are, right?
Yeah.
That's all it took last week, and he was out for the rest of the week. Had that big old ice pack on his knee over there on the sidelines and whatever. Minnesota, like I said, I don't really believe in them. It's not yet, but this week I've got to pick Minnesota. I mean, they beat the Bears last week. They've won 7 straight in a row. They're keeping pace with Detroit. They're tied right now at the top of that division. I think if you had a healthy Geno and a healthy Kenneth Walker, I believe that Seattle probably wins this game.
Yeah.
But I don't think so here. Jordan Addison's really come on the last half of this season, and you've got Justin Jefferson. Aaron Jones, he gets a lot of yards, but he hasn't lately. Like you said, they've been pass-heavy for whatever. But I like Minnesota in this one. I think Minnesota will cover this spread, actually. I just think that, like I said, one wrong thing for Seattle. And if they're down both their running backs, good luck.
Yeah.
But give me Minnesota. In the next matchup, 425, the New England Patriots travel to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a 14-point favorite, Gage. What are we thinking here?
Is this a trap game coming up for Buffalo? No, I highly doubt it. If it was, I would be very surprised. Buffalo has put up like 100-plus points combined in the last, 2 weeks? Or at least very close to it. I'm going to go Buffalo. I don't think the Patriots stand a chance. Give me Buffalo. Give me the points. And you can count this game as, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah. Patriots last week lost on the road to the Cardinals. Buffalo puts up a lot of points. They give up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots won't score that many points as the Lions and the Rams did the last 2 weeks against the Bills. I believe they'll put up a few points here, but the Buffalo right here, there's no chance of them losing this game at home to the Patriots this week. Give me Buffalo in this one. I think Buffalo will cover that spread, but I think New England will be able to put some points up on them, but Buffalo will put up a lot more. And have you seen, speaking of the Patriots, former coach Bill Belichick, did you see where he had his first signing the other day for North Carolina?
No, I did not.
All right, so there's a funny picture, and this kid, he's a center from somewhere, and he's signing his letter of intent to go play for North Carolina. And Bill Belichick, the kid's like, he's got a big smile on his face. He's happy. He's got his friends and family there, and there's a big celebration. And Bill Belichick's over in the corner in the doorway. He's got blue jeans on. His hair's sticking up a little bit on the side. Got his hands in his pocket, and he's like, just, And somebody comments on there, they're like, Belichick's probably like, just sign the freaking paper. It's like, yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, that's former Patriot, but they lose this week. The next 425 matchup, man, I'm glad they put this in a prime afternoon game right here. This is going to be a game. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Vegas to face the Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas is a 1.5 point favorite. Gage, I guess we're getting Mac Jones, Desmond Ridder, the matchup everybody's wanting to see. I don't know. Maybe Aiden O'Connell starts. I don't know, man. But what do we think about this wonderful game Sunday?
I don't know. The Raiders looked horrible last week. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback right now. They look horrible. They might, go Shedeur Sanders in the draft and try to get themselves a quarterback. The problem with that one is poor Shedeur Sanders would be expected to do so much right away. And if he doesn't, Vegas is going to come for his head. Like, there's no win in this one unless he, just happens to be like a Bo Nix and just does really good his first year with no real mentor. But if he comes to the Raiders, who's he going to learn from? Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, or Desmond Ridder? I'm sorry, I don't want to learn from any of those three. I can't speak for sure, but I would not want to learn from those three. Jaguars put up a good fight last week against the Jets. They probably should have won.
They did.
That's the most points I've seen them put up in a while. The Mac Jones to Brian Thomas Jr. connection is incredible. You want to talk about someone who's having an underrated season? Brian Thomas Jr. is that guy. There's a chance it's not going to happen, but there's a chance he should be Rookie of the Year. Averaging 15 yards per catch. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the stats real quick, but I stupidly went to sleeper. Let's see. Last week, 10 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Averages 5.5 catches a game, 71.5 yards a game. He has 6 touchdowns, couple rushing attempts. So it's like, this kid is good, and he's not really being talked about, and I don't know why. Besides for he's on the Jaguars, and the Jaguars suck.
That's why.
Last week, good game with him and Mac. I think it's going to continue this week. Give me Jacksonville. Give me the points. But it's not going to be a good game to watch.
So with a quick search, I looked it up, and Aiden O'Connell is trending to play this week, which is okay. It's better than Desmond Ridder back there playing. I'll give him that. But, last week, Brock Bowers had 3 catches.
Yeah.
And if you watch the game, it looks like that Ridder didn't even look his way for most of the games. Like, how do you do that? I mean, that's the best player on your team. That's the best player in your offense. And you don't even look the guy's way for most of the game? What are you doing? But Aiden O'Connell come back. I think that'll help out a lot because he likes targeting Brock Bowers. I don't think it'll help out that much, though, because the Jaguars, they played, like you said, they should have beat the Jets last week. Man, I don't know here. I'm going to go with Jacksonville in this one. I think Jacksonville wins it on the road as the underdog for whatever reason. But it's not going to be a good game, I don't think. But like you said, Brian Thomas Jr., underrated because he plays for Jacksonville. If he played, for Chicago, they're talking about Chicago a lot. If he was in Rome, if Rome Odunze was putting up stats like he was, he would be Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he was with a good quarterback, if he was in Buffalo, if he was in Kansas City, if he was in Baltimore, he probably would be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah. If you put him in Xavier Worthy or Keon Coleman's spot, then, yeah, he would be. And then we head to the last 425 matchup of the week. The San Francisco 49ers travel to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins. Miami's a 1-point favorite. Both of these two teams are clinging to a chance to make the playoffs. Gage, what are we thinking here?
Well, the running back carousel for the Niners continues because Garendo is not expected to play this week, and it's going to be Patrick Taylor, I think, as a starter. Maybe Israel Abanikanda will finally get a chance this week. I want them to give this kid an opportunity because I love him, but it seems like there's 5-6 running backs ahead of them. They still got Kyle Juszczyk. They're still going to use Debo out of the backfield. But how many running backs is this team going to go through? And their replacement continues to be good. I think that stops this week. I don't think Patrick Taylor's that good. I don't. And then when it comes to the receiving core, Debo Samuel, he puts out on Twitter, not a bad year. You're just not getting the ball or whatever. And then he has 3 drops last week. Is he okay?
One of them would have went for a touchdown too.
Yeah. So that's bad. The Dolphins, they got everybody. No one is hurt. I think Tyreek's questionable maybe, but he's going to play. And you still got, talk about before, Jonnu Smith. Use him. Please use him.
Yeah.
Devon A-Chain still doing good. Tua, getting his receivers killed. Almost giving hospital balls to the guy's name, but Grant Dubols or something like that. Good to hear he's okay. I don't think he's been released yet.
Yeah.
He's awake and functioning, so that's good. Maybe Tua gets another receiver hurt this week. I hope not. But I'm going to go Miami. Last year, this would have been a good game to watch. This year, whatever reason, it is not. So give me Miami, give me the points, and they'll move on to next week.
Yeah, beginning of the year, this game looked like this could be great, and then things happen. Tua goes down with the injury. The Niners got injuries all over the place. Christian McCaffrey goes down. Jordan Mason goes down. Now you're saying Garendo's down. Brandon Ayuk goes down. It's just man, just keep going on and on and on. They had a linebacker go down. They had a guy quit at halftime. Let's just, hey, go back in the game. I don't want to play. What? No, I don't want to play. Okay. Yeah. And then, Kyle Shanahan says afterwards, yeah, he didn't want to go back in. I asked him to go back in. He said he didn't want to play. He said he'll never play for him again. Instead of cutting him, they suspended him, which means they don't have to pay him. So I think that they're trying to prove a point here. I don't think Devondre Campbell is going to play again in the NFL. I think he just walked out on his career. Somebody may give him a shot, but he won't play for San Francisco anymore. But don't worry, we won't quit you guys here on this podcast. We won't just walk out middle of it. We'll stick it out, But I think Miami ends up winning this game right here. And as I say that, yeah. I think Miami wins this game here, although I need them to lose. But like you said, they got everybody there. There's other opportunities for them to lose here coming up. Give me Miami in this one. Like you said, they still got Jonnu Smith. 9 catches last week. Not a whole lot of yards. Got a touchdown. Tua had a lot of completions.
Yeah.
Not a lot of yards. Trying to get guys killed. The Niners over there, they're getting guys killed every week. Give me Miami in this one. It's at Miami. Give me the Dolphins to win it. And then, of course, the cover. It's only a 1-point spread. But what an awesome game that would have been in September.
Yeah, or last year.
Or last year. Last year would have been a great one. The next matchup, the Sunday night matchup, 8:20 on NBC. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Dallas to face the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay is a 4-point favorite. I don't like talking about this already, Gage. What do you think about it?
Tampa Bay threw up, 40-plus points last week on the Chargers' head. Mike Evans, 9 catches, I believe, a lot of yards, a touchdown or 2. Like, it was incredible to see. My fantasy team, I mentioned earlier, I had Mike Evans. He put up over 30 points to help me got to the victory in round 1 of playoffs. He needs to do it again this week. And we talked about it. They're going to keep feeding Mike Evans the ball, get him to that 1,000-yard mark. Last week was step 1 of doing it. This week, Dallas has a weaker defense than the Chargers. They're going to keep feeding him the ball. And I think it's going to help them get to a win. This anti-Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast, one half of the podcast is choosing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also to cover. We'll be interested to see what the other half does. Brent, what are you going to do?
Oh, man. That's why I said I hate already talking about this, because I know right now that I'm going to have to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this. So this anti-Tampa Bay Bucks podcast is going all Tampa Bay this week because the Dallas Cowboys are awful. They beat the Carolina Panthers last week by 2 touchdowns with Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb and all them guys, but it was at Carolina. Bryce Young didn't have his best game. On the other hand, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, have been great on offense this year. Baker has looked good, as much as I don't like saying it, because, it's Baker. He's looked good. Mike Evans, big game last week. Bucky Irving had a big game on the ground last week, the rookie from Oregon. He's been a great addition to that team. And, of course, with a name like Bucky playing for the Bucks, perfect fit, all that. I liked Bucky Irving last year, and then he had to go play Tampa Bay. So, but anyways, I'm going with Tampa Bay in this one too, and I think that they cover that spread. Cowboys will put up a few points, not a whole lot though, but Tampa Bay is going to put up a lot once again, and I think that they win. And this anti-Tampa Bay podcast goes all Tampa Bay this week. Ugh. It feels bad saying it.
You didn't have to go Tampa Bay. You could have took a sleeper pick.
I took my sleeper earlier with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So.
Hey, you could have took 2 this week.
I could have. But I don't trust the Cowboys at all.
That's fair. I don't think anybody does, so it's fine.
The Cowboys, who are still alive in the playoff hunt, by the way. Just saying.
Not like
yeah. The Monday night game we have this week, and can we not flex out of these games? We flexed out of a game earlier in the year. Why can't we flex out of these games here? What is going on? The New Orleans Saints and Jake Haener and the running back from TCU travel to Green Bay to face the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is a 14-point favorite at home. Gage, what do we think about Monday Night Football?
I'm excited to see the trio of Jake Haener, Kendre Miller, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling just absolutely not tear it up for the night game. I think it's going to be a bad showing, although Jake Haener came in, replaced Rattler last week. And
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, and then let it down. Almost got the win. I don't like the going for 2 thing. I think you should have just took it to overtime. But he didn't look horrible. I can say that. Alvin Kamara last week had a great receiving touchdown. One hand, bam, over the shoulder. Great pass from the receiver, who I forget who it was. But it was there. Kamara not playing this week, not playing probably for the rest of the season. And the Packers are the Packers. They're alive in the playoff hunt. They gotta win. They're gonna win. They are. I'm gonna take them, and I'm gonna take them to cover the 14 points. I know that's a lot, but the Saints are just bad. So give me the Packers. Give me the points.
Yeah, you said those are in the hunt. They are number 3 in their division, third place in their division, 2 games back of the top teams, and they're got 10 wins. They may finish with 12 wins on the year, and they're still going to be third place in that division. It's crazy, but that's what it is. Cedric Wilson was the receiver that threw the touchdown pass last week for the Saints. This is the Marquez Valdez-Scantling Bowl, right? He used to play for Green Bay. Now he's with New Orleans. He's back in Green Bay. Big homecoming for him. And he's going to have – the Green Bay Packers going to win this game. I think that just all areas right here. Josh Jacobs, he's going to have – I think he's going to have a big game on the ground here. Jaden Reed, they still don't get him involved enough, I don't think, as much as they should. He is a dynamic player. I mean, they try to get him like sweeps around the backfield just to get him touches, but they could get him the ball a whole lot more, I believe. And I think that if they do, I mean, they'll win this game. They'll cover. I'm with you. I think they cover this whether they get him the ball or not. I mean, Christian Watson has become their number 1 guy there now. But give me the Packers in this one, and I think that the Packers cover this. And, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And now that is the Week 16 picks. Nobody's on a bye. Everybody's playing. Bye weeks are over with. Gage, that's Monday night. Tuesday night, nothing going on. Wednesday, Christmas Day, Week 17. We're going to go ahead and get our Christmas Day picks in here today because we won't be back before Christmas. So, Gage, we'll go ahead, man, and we will start with our Christmas Day picks. Here we go. 1 o'clock on Netflix. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no line out for this game yet because they don't put them out that early.
Yeah.
Gage, if you were to set the line on this one, what would you set it at? And what do you think about it?
If I was to set the line, it would depend. It's going to depend if Mahomes plays or is it a Carson Wentz game. It's going to depend. Is Pickens back for the Steelers? Is Deshaun Elliott, Larry Ogunjobi? There's a lot that goes into it. I'm going to set it at 8.5 in favor of the Chiefs. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. But it's in Pittsburgh. If it was in Kansas City, I'd set it a little bit bigger. I'm going to be at this game, so it's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm really hoping the Steelers win. And I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while. And I'm going to pick the Steelers. Give me the underdog. My Week 17 sleeper pick, although I'll forget next week when we do this that I already used it. But give me the sleeper. Give me the Steelers. Obviously, with that, they cover the 8.5. I'm really just banking on Carson Wentz being the starter for the Chiefs.
So, I think that you're being a little, I don't know. The spread's a little high, I think, on that one. I was thinking maybe 5.5. Pittsburgh's got a great defense, and the offense hasn't been bad. Like you said, it depends on what Pickens, if he plays or not. I mentioned earlier in my pick that I think Kansas City will play Mahomes this week, and that I think that maybe he, on a few days' rest, they're going to try to rest him because they won't need him in this game.
Yeah.
I picked Pittsburgh in the other game last week on Week 16, not last week, but Week 16 picks. Yeah, I'm already confused myself right now. And I think Pittsburgh will win this game too with Carson Wentz at the helm for the Chiefs. Give me Pittsburgh to give you a Merry Christmas, Gage. You in attendance at the game. Everybody's watching Netflix. It's buffering like the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Pittsburgh wins against Kansas City without Patrick Mahomes because I think he takes time off.
Pittsburgh wins.
Oh,
People that'll see it will be the fans in attendance.
that's it. We'll all be watching a buffering screen. And the next matchup on Christmas Day, 4:30, the Ravens travel to Houston to face the Texans, also on Netflix. Gage, what do we think about this one here?
This one's an interesting one because I don't know who the Steelers need to win. If they want to keep the 3 seed, they need both Baltimore to not be able to catch up and overtake us, but they also need the Texans to not catch up and swap positions with Pittsburgh. Depending on how they do this week, I'm going to take Baltimore in this one. I don't want them to win. I want Houston to win, but I think Baltimore is going to win on Christmas Day. Baltimore doesn't really have a good track record on Christmas Day. As I remember Antonio Brown on Christmas Day a couple years ago, just reaching over that goal line with the football and giving Pittsburgh the win. Baltimore is going to win this one. What should the line be set at for this one? I almost like the 8.5 again. But I don't know.
We'll say maybe 6.5.
All right, we'll go 6.5. So give me Baltimore, and I think they cover. But yeah, go Texans.
Yeah, I think that the Baltimore will win this game. I think Baltimore wins this game here. You know, I have Pittsburgh winning on Saturday, so that means Baltimore loses. I think they bounce back and win this game. Houston, I have losing as well. I don't think they're as good as Baltimore, especially on the road. Short days, short weeks rest. Give me Baltimore in this one. If it is 6.5, give me Baltimore to cover. I think they win by a touchdown. Should be a couple of good Christmas Day games. I don't know. It might not be. Short days, short weeks rest. They don't turn out to be the best sometimes. Except for last night, it was good. We'll see how it goes. But I like Pittsburgh to win on Christmas. And I like Baltimore and all AFC North, day for Christmas.
And then the Bengals just sit there in sadness.
They play Saturday after that. Denver. They beat them. Here we go.
There's a chance. There's that.
There's a chance
of hope that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
It was very slim after the Bengals lost to Pittsburgh, and then ever since then, it's kind of, maybe there's still a shot here somehow, some way. Hanging in there.
We both said they need to win out, and that's exactly what they're on track to do right now.
And you have to have the schedule help you out. Yeah. And right now it's trending that way. You've got Cleveland, could beat them. Denver, that's the game right there. If you beat Denver and Pittsburgh's already got locked up, we've already talked about that. I like it. I like it too,
but you got to make it through this week. You got to beat Cleveland. And we know how pesky those
got to beat.
Be.
They can be. DTR and the boys, but we'll see how it goes. And, yeah. But that's the Week 16 picks. We'll be back next week to finish our Week 17 picks. We've already got a couple in. But we'll see you all next week. Gage, everybody out there, have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you all next week.
Merry Christmas, everyone. See you later.
All right. As soon as it comes